Hey guys, welcome back. We are in the garage today. It's a pretty terrible weather weekend. It's cold, rainy, super windy. You can actually probably hear it howling out there. So today we're just in the garage. I figured we'd go through, do a quick video, going through all the compartments in my boat, show you how I have it all laid out, how I have everything organized. I put a lot of thought into it to kind of make it accessible and easy to get to everything while I'm on the water, and so I kind of have a mental idea of where everything is. But I'm always curious how everyone else lays out their boats, so I figured I'd share how mine's organized, and then you guys can leave some comments below with some suggestions or some ideas of how you have yours laid out. So let's take a look at it. Alright, so let's first take a look at the back of the boat. As you can see, it's in the garage here. I have it plugged in charging. It's plugged into my onboard charger there. And then I just have an outlet accessible with a little hook for my extension cord. So that's just a convenient way for me to keep it plugged in while it's in the garage. If we start over here at this rear compartment behind the driver's seat, honestly, for me, this is sort of an extra compartment. I don't have a ton of tackle. My middle compartment up front keeps most of it pretty organized. This is sort of the overflow. I have a couple Plano boxes that are mostly empty. There are a couple lures in there that are extra or that I don't use too often. And I do have some smaller stuff for like pan fishing that I don't do too often, but I keep just in case. But that's pretty much extra overflow for me in the back. And if we come over to the passenger side rear compartment, this is sort of my toolbox. I have all my tools in here that I keep on board in a tool bag. I have my prop nut. I have some paper towels. I actually also have a dry bag with my rain suit in there. A couple extra garbage bags, just sort of miscellaneous tools that I may need while on the water, or if anything happens to break down on the road or anything like that. Next, we'll move a little bit closer up front in between the seats. I have this storage compartment. This was an add-on when I ordered the boat. It's super convenient. I would always recommend everyone order this. Otherwise, it's just an empty step here. It's not very useful. So this little tray in here, this does come out. There's the gas tank access below it. But here I keep my extra key, some wet wipes, towels, sunglasses, a couple cloths to wipe off my graphs. Super convenient day box. I have been in some pretty heavy rain and there hasn't gotten any water in here, I think because of this little lip. So I don't know if it's necessarily a dry box, but it does stay pretty dry. And as we head towards the front, there's not a ton of organization that goes into my cooler. As you can see, it's mostly empty except for the trash can. That does come with the Nitro boats from the factory. But yeah, that's it. I mostly keep it empty. I will throw my drinks and stuff in there and sandwich on the side, but I usually am not out long enough that I'm packing a big meal or anything. So honestly, it doesn't get a ton of use on my boat. Now on to the left front compartment. This is where I keep all my fishing rods. I do have another video detailing how I made this fishing rod holder that I inserted in there to kind of keep them separated and lifted up a bit. So go ahead and check that out if you're curious. Otherwise, this comes from Nitro, just a big open box. I did not get a rod organizer with mine. There's no tubes in there. It's just empty. But I keep all my rods in here. I keep rod socks on them to keep them from getting tangled, and I'm a little OCD. If you can't tell, I cover every single reel with a cover just to make sure they don't get scratched being banged around on the road or anything. And if you're curious, that is 8 rods in that locker. I could probably fit at least 2 or 3 more, keeping them spaced out and comfortable. I suppose if I get to the point where I want more, I may have to rethink my organizer that spaces them out. But for now, that works just fine for me. Alright, so now into the middle compartment. I have all my Plano boxes with hard lures in the middle here. I did label each one so that I wasn't constantly rooting through to figure out what was in which container. And then I have a couple up front here that are just kind of hooks and tools that I might need. I have a tool bag with some line and my pliers and scissors and things like that in there. I usually have my fishing license in there as well. And for soft plastics, I purchased one of these organizers. This is the Easy View tackle system. It's basically a row of clamps that you can mount, wherever you have some space. I mounted mine to that aluminum plate that sort of strengthens the lid. And then you can hang them kind of like chip clips you see at the convenience store. You can hang your soft plastic. So I have all my worms on the lid. That seems to be the soft plastic I use the most, so I just kind of put them all somewhere that I can see them easily. I have a couple more of those Easy View tackle hangers on the side here on the left. So I've got my swim baits and creature baits on the left there, and then I use a lot of the Ned rig baits, so I have those on the right side there in that little panel. My spinner baits in this spinner bait container back there. For the most part, the cup holders end up just collecting spent baits throughout the day. Pieces of line that I cut or any kind of trash I end up filling those cup holders with and then empty them when I get back. That's about the most efficient use of space for those things that I've found so far. And finally, in the right side front compartment, I have all my life jackets, my throwable, my bumpers, my lines for docking. I have some of my water shoes that I will wear sometimes in the summer, my fire extinguisher and safety equipment. I have my first aid kit down there. I have a heavy duty bag with all my registration and boat paperwork that I need to keep on board. And then honestly, I think further up it's pretty much empty space. There's not really anything else up there. If I were to invest in something like Active Target or maybe Garmin LiveScope, which I'm contemplating at the moment, I'll probably make some room in this compartment to mount that black box module that goes with those systems. But otherwise, it's mostly safety equipment and dock lines for the boat. So there you have it, guys. That's how I keep everything organized. I do try pretty hard after every trip to sort of reorganize it. When you're on the water, sometimes things get tossed here and there. I try to put it back where everything goes once I'm back at home in the garage and preparing for the next trip. I do like to stay organized. It is something that I think about a lot. So I'm very curious to hear any ideas or some additional feedback from everybody as far as how you keep your boat organized. If it's something you think about, maybe you guys think I'm crazy that I'm spending this much time worrying about where everything goes. I know some people just like to toss their fishing stuff in their boat and worry about catching fish, but hey, seems like it's always interesting to hear what everyone else has to say. So thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. Catch you in the next one.